Hey, so I wanted to do a quick little tutorial showing off some of the process of using Character Creator to make what was originally called Battleground but is now Battle City. When you open Character Creator, on the left side you have your content. You can find characters, you can find costumes for those characters, you can choose skin textures, all kinds of props for them. You can buy more customizations and props and costumes and all kinds of stuff on the Revolution website. So I started out with a rough character and figuring out what I wanted the costume to look like, because since they're all a tactical team, I want them to all have a similar look. I also wanted to be a combination of military, post-apocalyptic, and high-tech. So the main things I used was parts of the Battle Mech series and the Survivor post-apocalyptic playset. Once I had a costume design I wanted, I could go into the modify side, which is on the right, and there you can do all kinds of things like mess with textures, mess with scaling. The main thing I was using it for is you can edit the mesh if you want to do really extreme changes to things, but you can also do what's called conforming, and what this is great for is if your character's popping through their clothes a little bit or clothes are overlapping, the conform button will take the topology of your assets, like the clothing, and look at what's around it and try to move outward in order to not be colliding with those objects. I did a mixture of increasing the actual size of the model and then actual conforming, because if you conform too much, then you start getting weird distortions or very dramatic distortions. One of the other things I did with adjusting the main characters is I turned off the helmet so that I could see the face, because I was going to make the helmet transparent in the final renders. So once I had the clothes figured out, I selected the character and went into Morphs and started adjusting the morphs of the character. And you can choose all kinds of different things in here, from like size of ankles to the bridge of the nose being broad or tall, or all kinds of different stuff. You can get really specific, even making things asymmetrical and stuff like that. When I was working with this, I wasn't trying to make the perfect character, I was trying to make an interesting character. Because there are so many options in here, it's one of those things, the more you play with the tools, the better you would get at really designing exactly the type of character you want. The whole process is very self-explanatory, but at the same time, figuring out exactly what you want to adjust and what makes for an interesting or believable character can take a little bit of practice. Once I had the main character set up, I went ahead and made a generic soldier so that the soldiers could die in the ship. And then I started making the enemy soldiers. And I did these in a couple different ways, where I got really specific with exactly what costumes I wanted to make. There are also pre-made templates that come with some of the packs you can buy on the Revolution store, and I use those to fill out more of the characters. You could use those for your specific characters too, but it's a good way to get a good thematic starting point really quickly. So once I had my characters saved as different characters I wanted to use, it's very easy to send the characters to Iclone. All you have to do is click the little IC button in the top left. You can actually send multiple characters to Iclone to interact with each other. The main thing you need to know with that is, if you have a character in Iclone selected and you try to add a character from Character Creator, it will replace that character, so just make sure your character isn't selected. So the next step I'll talk about in the next video is adding the motion capture data.